Good afternoon, everybody. My name is xIceblue, and this is going to be an any percent run of BS Legend of Zelda. In the commentator booth I have with me, I have TGH.
Hello, I am ATGH.
He is going to basically explain some of the mechanics.
Everything.
I
Not
guess.
quite everything, actually.
I mean, if you want to, it's all up to you.
Not quite everything. I don't know if I could explain everything. So. This is BS Legend of Zelda. I believe BS stands for not what you might expect. Stands for Batella Satellite.
Broadcast satellite?
Broadcast satellite. Okay, but it's the never mind. Okay, so this is for the Satellaview system?
Yes.
I got that confused with the S. Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, essentially it was like an internet attachment for the Super Famicom in Japan only, that allowed people to play certain games that were BS labeled through a radio wave that would do like it would play like weekly, and it would give updates weekly for the game itself.
Yeah, it was actually very unique for its time and very ahead of its time, actually.
So major difference that you'll notice between this game and like the original NES Zelda, it has the exact same kind of play style. So you do move on a grid-based system. The overworld looks very similar, but it actually is completely different. And then every dungeon is also completely different. So there's going to be completely different layouts for every dungeon. There is no level 9, unfortunately. And everything
this is really short.
The original version of the game was running on like it was like a time-based system to acquire like specific items like the candle, the arrows, things like that. But the way that this version is set up, everything is now acquirable in one sitting as opposed to waiting 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this run started. Jay, you want to count us down?
Yeah, sure. I'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so yeah, like I said, this is very much, at the very least, a spiritual successor to Zelda 1 as it's presented right now. Like as far as like this is a ROM hack that stitches everything together the way you can speedrun it. So like obviously it's not practical to wait 2 weeks between sessions here, and nor is it practical to go back to 1994 when this was released to do that. So but basically, so yeah, there are a lot of similarities between this and Zelda 1 as far as overworld layout goes, as far as bomb drops go and bomb importance goes. So you'll see ice farming for bomb drops on the blue octrox there. Stop right here and get 45 rupees. We want to leave level 1 with 60 rupees. Rupees are important in this run because we need to buy stuff later. We need to buy a key for starters. Or a couple of keys, actually.
we gotta buy the blue candle. We buy the arrows. We buy 2 keys and the bait. So rupees are very, very important to this run.
Yeah, you might have seen as well already a couple of times. Ice has walked into a corner of a wall or some other barrier, and has gotten like shoved back into place. Zelda 1 for the NES is not kind enough to do that for you, but this game is. And it actually saves time in this game.
Yeah, the corner correction in this game is pretty nice.
It feels so nice if you're a Zelda 1 runner. I've also run Zelda 1 myself, and yeah, I can confirm that the movement in this game feels like a dream compared to Zelda 1. It's just like, it's better in every way.
Feels like how Zelda 1 should run.
Yeah.
So we're gonna enter this room here. We're gonna pick up the first item of the game. The bow. But we're not going to be able to use this bow until later, a lot later on in the game. We do not actually purchase arrows until right before Dungeon 6.
Remind me, arrows do cost rupees to use in this game, right?
Yes.
Like, so just like Z1, okay.
Alright, I am not liking my health here. Every enemy in the game has decided to kamikaze themselves into me.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, pretty much a lot of these dungeons are very straightforward. The only dungeon that we're really going to sequence break is level 6. We essentially buy 2 keys before entering the dungeon. And it allows us to just go from, straight from the beginning of the dungeon to right to the end of it.
Hmm.
So
there's our first Triforce piece.
Yeah. So we're immediately going to go straight to level 2 after this, which is conveniently placed 3 screens away from level 1. Not much of a need of travel.
Yeah, it's almost like you're meant to go here after level 1.
Yeah, I mean, the game doesn't
almost
really...
like level 2 comes after level 1.
You sure about that? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I'm not known for my counting skills, but I can at least infer such.
All right.
They got plenty of rupees, by the way. So yeah, like I said, we wanted to leave level 1 with 60, and we've got 71. Or we
More
had 70
rupees.
entering level 2.
More rupees is never a bad thing. And actually, they're with the recent rerouting I've done with this game is trying to pick up as many early game rupees as possible to avoid having to enter a cave before level 5 to pick up a 45 rupee cave, and it saved about 13 seconds if I counted that right.
Yeah, that seems about the length of time a secret would take.
So we have our favorite boss. In this game, you cannot, as they call it, smoke a Dodongo. You have to kill the Dodongo the intended way by placing 2 bombs in his mouth. So we don't get our free bomb from the Dodongo, unfortunately. Here,
touch there on that rock.
Here we're gonna head down here. This is gonna be one of the first items that we purchase. This is actually one of the first items in the original version of the game that was time-based. You would have to wait until, I think it was like 50 something, I believe. There was a time clock on the right side of your life bar. And you would have to wait till, I believe it's like the 50 was on the time, and then you were able to purchase the candle. In this version, obviously we don't need that. There is no time clock.
Yeah, and as you saw, I used to burning down the trees in order to access level 3 over here to the west.
No lucky bomb.
Level 3 is a little bit interesting because there is a death warp in level 3 that we do.
Yeah, so you'll see me taking some intentional damage on the way over to the item room.
Oh, that was nice.
There's my
damage
bomb.
Boost.
Gotta pick up the lucky compass there.
Saves a frame, I heard.
So here we're gonna take a couple of damage boosts from the red dark nuts. We want to be low health here because we're gonna take a death warp on the raft here. Don't play with fire, folks. It's pretty dangerous. You explode. So that death warp saves about 50 something, 55 seconds. as opposed to walking, because your walking animation in this game is relatively slow. So having to walk out of that room and then walk all the way down back through the dungeon is super slow. So we utilize that death warp there in order to save time on walking, because our heroess is she skipped leg day. So she's not really interested in walking.
Just to be clear, this category does not allow save and quit, or is it just that you cannot save and quit in general?
You can't save and quit in general.
Okay. Cool. That's pretty awesome.
That was like a really insane lineup there. That was nice.
That looked really good. Nice Gyro. I hear growling coming from the next room. Yeah, sorry, that's me.
Yeah, I didn't have breakfast this morning, my bad.
Yeah.
That was a good D-boost. I'm sad I lost beams, because the next room is going to be a pain. So we're coming up on one of the worst bosses in video game history here. After this room with the Dark Nuts, we have the worst boss in video game history. Manhandla.
He's a little bit more manageable in this game than Zelda 1.
Yeah, Manhandla has complete RNG movement. If you're familiar with the Zelda 1 game, Manhandla's movement is based off of the frame you enter the room, and it's just completely random in which directions he moves. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, like if Ice didn't get an immediate like hit on all four heads on Manhandla, he speeds up. Every time you hit him, but he doesn't die, he speeds up. So like, essentially it can become a game of just placing a bomb and hoping that he runs into it, which is not fun. But no worries on the fight.
And then you'll notice that I was waiting specifically after killing that blue Octorok. So this game also runs off of a global drop rate, which I know the global drop rate, so I know where my drops are going to be. So coming out of level 3, I know that, you know, killing something that drops a bomb there, and then the next kill will be useless, and then the next kill after that will be a bomb drop. So I'm able to maximize my bombs coming right into level 4. So here we're just gonna blow open a wall, we're gonna destroy some property. Sorry, people who designed this dungeon.
Pay me for the door repair charge.
No.
Oh. Well, okay, that's fine too. I'll just pay for it myself.
Good. So this is where the game actually kind of differs from Zelda 1. The item from this dungeon is actually different than it is in the original. So typically in level 4 you get the ladder. In this game,
it's the recorder, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we're gonna pick up the recorder. Dig Dogger thought he would just make an appearance earlier into the game than Zelda 1. So sadly enough, we won't get to see our good friend Gliok in this game. Gliok just doesn't exist. Couldn't pay the bills.
Yeah, too many heads to feed.
Yeah. Another thing actually that we didn't note. I don't know why, but sword beams cause if there are multiple sprites in one spot, sword beams can actually AoE hit, like, you know, like when like the enemies that split. It's really weird.
Oh.
Oh, they split up. That's not good.
Yeah, it's a little bit unlucky. Nice.
Yeah, that's actually
Big
fine.
Dogger can be kind of a scary fight if they do split up like that. One thing I also don't think we mentioned is the quick swap menu mechanics.
Yeah, it's very nice.
You'll notice that the item in the menu for the B button at the top of the screen just kind of changes, seemingly randomly at times. Ice is actually controlling that with the L and R buttons on the SNES controller. That's a luxury that you don't have in Zelda 1. I think there's only one point in this run where you actually menu manually, and it's to help with the boss fight.
It was with Dig Dogger, but I've changed that.
Oh, okay. So the recorder mechanics are also slightly different in this game. In Zelda 1, it's whichever direction you're facing when you play the flute determines where you go. In this game, it's whichever direction you're facing when the tornado that comes actually hits you.
I'm gonna pick up this potion for safety.
So like there's a counter that goes up or down depending on which way you're facing that will bring you to a different point on the map that corresponds to that variable.
Yeah, it brings you to whichever dungeons you've completed. It's same mechanics as the recorder in Zelda 1, just different how the tornado picks you up.
Yeah.
This is a bad pattern.
Do we have time for a quick donation here?
Absolutely.
That's awesome, because Suxoneris just donated $6.14 saying, "Hey all, this is pretty much everything I have left on my PayPal account. Trying to help reach the ukulele incentive. Can I get somebody to help me reach that incentive? And stay hydrated."
Thank you for that donation.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for the donation and also for the reminder to stay hydrated. Take a drink right now. Oh, you have bait. Okay. I was like, what is that meat? It's been a while since I played V1.
Probably for the best, honestly.
God. Okay. I was like, I thought you were playing Castlevania for a second. You just got a wall chicken. I'm like, what the hell? I swear I have played this game before.
So another thing to note, you'll see me taking intentional damage in this dungeon as well. We will be taking another death warp in this dungeon. But first, we're going to pick up a bomb upgrade because we do have a kind of like a boss gauntlet here where we have to fight 3 Dodongos. So that's going to eat up 6 of our bombs, which is... Bombs are a very, very nice resource to have in this game. And I also want to kind of avoid, you know, taking damage from them. So we have to take a few hits here.
That's fine. This is still way faster than walking all the way back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, walking back through level 5, we'd have to clear the Gibda room, the mummies, which those take 7 sword stabs, and in order for us to save bombs, as opposed to killing them, a death warp is just tremendously faster to do. So we're gonna head back up here. We're gonna make a left here, and then we're gonna head down.
So my only notes for the boss of this dungeon is Patra sucks. Verbatim, those are the notes.
I mean, you're not wrong. But Patra is pretty useless in this game now.
Yeah. Yeah, Patch is a lot more threatening in the original, in Zelda 1. The main Patcher's main shortcoming. Oh, that's a shame. I went the wrong way. Patcher's main shortcoming in this game is that he doesn't move left or right. He just moves up and down.
I mean, it's his loss, honestly.
Yeah. Whereas, like, the main threat from Patra in Zelda 1 was the fact that he could move in any direction.
We have a very good bomb count here. That's good for entering 6.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so we have the boss coming up next room here. And like Jay was saying, TGH was saying, Patra just doesn't move left. So we're just going to utilize that to make fun of him here.
Yeah, just stand there and swing the sword. By the way, whenever Ice says Jay, that's me. Jay is my first name, and Ice knows me on a first name basis.
Don't need your stinking heart, Patra.
Wow. The disrespect of that heart.
Alright, so we do have to go, unfortunately, pick up the rupee room here that I bombed open before entering level 5. Typically I want to end up with at least 80 rupees leaving level 5. But we didn't have that, so I blasted that open just as a backup. Since I know the second room of level 5 has, you know, multiple chances of bomb drops, I'm able to use as many like bombs as I'd like before entering 5. So these 2 keys are gonna allow us to sequence break level 6. Normally on level 6, you have to go straight up north. You have to bomb a wall to the right, grab 1 key, and then there's another key you grab further north. We don't feel like doing that. The dungeon is, there's no item in the dungeon that we need. And we just wanna beat it.
In other words, we're cheating.
No, you're cheating. I'm just playing the game as intended.
I'm not even playing.
That's what you think. Alright, so we buy...
I'm scared.
We pick up that 100 secret right here to purchase arrows. Unfortunately, there are no key shops nearby, so we do have to purchase those keys directly after level 5. And then we're going to make our way over to level 6. Before we could not enter level 6, we did need a certain item to enter it, which is the recorder. Mm-hmm. Somebody sunk the level. Probably didn't pay their water bill. So the plumber
It's probably Bowser.
Probably.
Yeah. Along with the sunken ship from SMW.
Oh lord. All right.
Yeah, so we don't get an item in Dungeon 6. Well, there is an item in here, but we don't get it. Instead, we get something after Dungeon 6 that is even better.
Yeah, so this game has a very strange mechanic that I actually kind of like. Of acquiring items after collecting so many Triforces. So you'll notice an animation after level 6's Triforce is grabbed upon us exiting the dungeon. We're going to acquire an item that we didn't have before. That's a very unlucky Gibdo pattern here. Good bombs, though. And hardest boss in the game. Alright, so upon exiting level 6, so there's actually been some kind of cool stuff between grabbing the Triforces. So now we just acquired what it's called the Mighty Boomerang. So the Mighty Boomerang has a nice special effect. It hits, you're able to fire it the entire screen. and it also pierces through enemies. So it doesn't just stop on the first enemy it hits, it just keeps going.
I like that. This boomerang has a special ability. It absolutely obliterates everything. Essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it does the same damage as the white sword. So here we're gonna come. The level 6 Triforce, or the 6th Triforce you pick up, actually unlocks the Master Sword, and it also unlocks the Mighty Boomerang. Level 5 unlocks half-price shops. So arrows in the beginning of the game were 100 rupees. After you beat the 5th dungeon, the price of arrows goes down to 50. And also the keys also drop to 40, which is why we're able to purchase 2. Beating level 7 will give us infinite bombs. And then beating level 8 will give us infinite sword beams, no matter your health.
We're coming up on my favorite Silver Arrow location, aren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've got a story to tell about this one.
So this is my favorite part of watching TGH run this game casually.
Yeah, so I don't actually speedrun this game. I have played it casually before, but see where Ice is getting the silver arrows right now. This is bullcrap, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a room later with an old man that gives you a hint that says something like, "Those in the next room will take you to the arrow." So I'm like, okay, in order to get silver arrows, like, I've played Zelda before, I know that he's talking about silver arrows, right? I took his advice, and so the enemy in the next room that he's talking about is a wall master, an enemy called a wall master, which is just a hand, essentially, that comes out of the wall and grabs you and brings you to the start of the dungeon. So what I thought would happen is the wall master would grab me and bring me to, like, a different room besides the start. And I thought I was the smartest person in the world. As it turns out, it just brought me back to the beginning of the dungeon. As it turns out, that first room is where the arrow is.
So this is the hint. Those next door can show you to the arrow. So in his defense, the wall masters in this room are a different color. Typically, wall masters are blue.
Why are they green? You have no idea how stupid I felt. When A, they brought me back to the entrance, and then B, I was told where the arrows were by either you or JSR, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was very, very entertaining to see his face.
I was devastated. Luckily, we don't actually have to fight Manhandle again. However, we do have to fight the double Goma, unfortunately.
Which are not a problem, really.
Yeah, they just kind of eat time.
Yeah. Because if you miss one cycle, it's like 10 seconds almost. Alright, so now we have infinite bombs. I can lay as many as I'd like, to my heart's content. But we don't really need them. They do the same damage as the magical sword or master sword.
I love how as soon as you don't need them, you get an infinite amount of them. It's fantastic.
I love grabbing a fairy frames before getting hit by a pea-hat. It's my favorite. Alright, so this is the final dungeon of the game. This is level 7. We do dungeon 8 before level 7 because of the need of bombs. And we grab a certain key in level 8 that allows us to skip a good portion of level 7. So grabbing that early key in level 8 allows us to skip roughly about, I want to say, 4 rooms Oh, I wanted to kill that. Oh well. He didn't bother me. Oh, no, okay. Alright, that's good. That bubble was not nice. So level 7 is actually pretty famous for being a really bad troll. There are, I believe, 4 sets of staircases in level 7 that will send you back to the beginning of the dungeon.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, I remember that. I think I hit all 4 of them.
Probably.
Yep. Broadcast satellite is what BS stands for.
I mean, if you want to call it the other name, that's fine.
Yeah,
but we all know
it's pretty ambiguous.
But I mean, we already know that Zelda 1 is the real BS game.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so now we got all the Triforce pieces, and now we can go to fake level 9.
So level 9 is in a very
That's
familiar level 9 is in a very familiar location. That's not nice. I need that health. So come to find out that our level 9 location is in a very, very familiar starting point. I guess we're fighting
And
again.
also featuring a familiar face.
So we entered the old man's cave at the start to find out that he's been knocked unconscious, and Ganon just so happened to have built his house behind the old man's house.
Very sneaky, Ganon is.
All right, so we utilize the Triforce of courage to open the door here, and we're gonna utilize a sword beam here right before the cutscene. And this sword beam is going to actually damage Ganon right when the fight starts.
This fight is tough, by the way. This fight can get out of hand really quickly, so. Oh, come on, Ganon, really?
Yeah, that's why I bought that potion.
Yeah.
I would have died there.
Oh, there you go.
I definitely would have died
go.
there. So yeah, just like the original Zelda 1 Ganon fight, he's invisible. He can teleport around the room. But the newer part of that is that you can utilize sword beams in order to hit him. Time is coming up the moment we exit the Wood Sword Cave, by the way. So we save the prince. We exit the cave. They tell us thank you. We don't want to hear their dialogue. We just continue walking. And time.
GG. Nice run.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Good stuff.
But yeah, that is BS Legend of Zelda. Pretty little fun, obscure game. I actually like this game a lot more than Zelda 1, even though I run both.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
It's very fun. Like using the hints in order to figure out like where some of the dungeons are and where the items are. And it's also fun like exploring the overworld.
Yeah, it's fun, especially if you've played Zelda 1 and are looking for, like, they call this, you can see at the bottom of the ending screen, actually, they call this the third quest, as well, so, like, it's refreshing for, people who've played Zelda 1 and people who've played both quests of Zelda 1, to just have kind of a refreshing experience.
Yep. I do want to give a big shout outs to SpeedCon for giving me the capacity to run this. Big shout outs for the marathon and the charity that they're doing this for. Save the children. They deserve to have a fantastic life growing up. I have a 6-year-old of my own. So, you know, I love kids. Big shout outs for TGH for staying awake this late for him.
Absolutely.
To help me commentate this run and explain stuff, you know, as I'm focusing. But yeah, thank y'all for the opportunity for this. I appreciate it. And then good luck to the next runner after me.
Yeah, have a good one, everyone.
Also, just a shout out for myself. I do speedrun pretty much all the retro titles for Zelda. Right now, I am running Zelda 1, unfortunately. I am pushing a goal for that game, sub 29. So if you do like Zelda content and you wanna see more, my community is very welcoming. We would love to have you. This game, unfortunately, does not really have a Discord. But if you're interested in learning this run, reach out to me. My DMs are open. But yeah, just reach out. I'm more than happy to help you with this game.
Alright, so I have to thank you both. Thanks for the awesome commentary and for the very entertaining run here. And yeah, this was BS, The Legend of Zelda, run by xIceblue. And we're heading now into another short intermission, preparing for the next run, which will be Ahead in Time, run by Unkinder Pine. So stay tuned.